Hi, everybody. I'm Hollie, Clere with the Social Media Advisor. Thank you so much for joining today. I am so excited to introduce you to my dear friend, Katie Myers with CR Conversations.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. So we are on BeLive.tv this morning. So feel free to chat with us, type in your little messages down below, and we'll see if we can answer questions as we're going. So just to kind of start off, this is also showing on Facebook Live, and thank you to those of you who are joining us. We appreciate your hearts and would love it if you click the little share button. Then that way other people can see it as well. So I want to start with our funnest question.
Yay!
As people are starting to join, I know that you are a lover of animals.
So much. So much. All of them.
Well, and so, you know, it's kind of fun because you're a really fun Facebook friend to have because of the fact that I can share cute puppy videos or cat videos. Right? It's just the thing. Yeah. So I would like to know, what is your favorite spirit animal and why?
Ooh, I love this question. So it's always been a Black Panther. And I think it started with, remember Beanie Babies, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So no shock here. I had like all of them, right? But my absolute favorite one was always the Black Panther. And it was always the animal that I wanted to visit at the zoo. And there's just something that I always just felt really connected to. They're stealthy, they're beautiful, but if you catch them playing, they're also, they act like kittens. So you kind of get best of both worlds. It's like super fun, but like kind of sassy and can definitely take care of itself.
I love that.
That's my spirit animal.
You know, and they're gorgeous. Just like you, obviously.
Stop.
But yeah, I actually see a lot of characteristics in the Black Panther that you have as well. You know, because you're stealthy.
I don't really know about that. The one characteristic I definitely don't have is like the grace of a cat. I'm very clumsy, so I'd make a horrible cat. I would never land on my feet. Let's just say that.
But if you were a cat, you'd have 9 lives. So it would work out really, really well. Then you could be as clumsy as you want. Yeah, that's the thing. It could totally work.
Totally good. Totally good.
So funny. That's awesome. I'm so glad we asked that question.
Right.
So I am trying to think back to when we met and how we met and how we first connected, because right now we are awesome power partners. You're a really good friend of mine, and I very much cherish you and the services that you provide. And I'm trying to think, it was back in some of our early networking days, right?
Mm-hmm. I think that we first knew of each other 3 years ago. Yes, when we were in. We're both in the same networking organization, but we were in different chapters of that organization. So I knew of you, and we had kind of met a little bit, and then we started networking more together. And then I moved in down the hall from you when I came to see your awesome office space. I fell in love with your office space so much that I wanted to have that office space, and we became neighbors for a little while. That was fun.
Mm-hmm. That was a lot of fun. And the funnest thing was being able to walk down the hall, see your bright, shining face and your team. And that was amazing. That was a really fun space. But then you guys upgraded.
We did. We grew up a little bit. So Kimberly and I came in. We got what we like to call the big girl office, and it kind of felt like we were getting married. It was like everything but blood work that needed to happen for us to get this space together. So, but you and I are still just a quick little drive away. You can come on over anytime, neighbor. And you do.
And I do.
And I love that.
So funny factoid is the greatest thing about working 5 minutes away from your office is the fact that if we're having any kind of technical challenge, which actually happened recently, then I was able to just hop, skip, and a jump over to your office and fix the issue. And then, I got a great Katie hug for the day. So it's amazing.
It was awesome. I'm very spoiled. I'm very spoiled when it comes to you because you're so close to me, and you drop everything to come and help, and that's why you are the special person that you are.
Oh, I heard you.
I heard you too.
Well, in thinking about challenges and overcoming challenges and being spoiled with people who can help you with challenges, what is a business struggle that you have had and that you've had to overcome?
Just one?
One.
Just one. Okay, let's see. There's been some doozies. So it'll be 4 years on May 1st that I've been in business. And thank you. It's very exciting. But there have absolutely been obstacles. I think the one that I'll share today is the struggle for my identity as a business owner. So when I very first started, the name of my company was Pure Communication, and it was okay. My colors were orange and blue, and I really dislike both of those colors unless they're on a Broncos something. That's the only time I'll wear them, and preferably I choose the blue over the orange. But because I left it up to somebody else to define my brand, and so I had a business name because I needed one. And so I got a logo, and I was put into so many boxes without realizing it because I didn't know any better. And so for a long time, people heard, they'd heard the word phone calls, and they would say, "Oh, you're a telemarketer." Or they would think Pure Communication. They would think that I was like a telecom company. It's like we sold phone equipment or connection. And so it was, let's see, it's actually almost 2 years ago that I got brave enough to make the change. And it took a really long time for me to figure out what the name was. But I've kept the piece of paper where it shows all of the brainstorming. There are some really bad ideas out there.
You've got to share this at some point.
Yes, I will. Seriously. Gladly. I will take a picture of it and I will share it. Of what it looks like. And then I'll show you the pages of all the stuff that I had to change by changing my name. Yeah. But once I changed the name and it became something, so CR Conversations, I love that people ask, what does it stand for? Because I say, what do you think it does? There's a reason for the ambiguity. It can be customer retention. It can be client relationships. It can be core relationships, whatever you think it is. But then I had a branding expert that she asked me a very important question and said, "What's your favorite color?" I'm like, "Well, my favorite color is purple." But, for some reason I had this disconnect of being able to own, like, why can't I own that color? But she gave me that gift. And so now everything is purple. I mean, you can see, like, there's a lot of purple stuff behind me.
You don't have anything purple in your office?
No, not a single thing. Nope, not a single thing. I would paint the walls purple if I could. But it just, I think that's probably one of the biggest obstacles I overcame. And it took me a long time to do so because first I had to own that I'm in business for me. And the people I want to attract are going to be people like me. So I needed to own my own identity and know who I was and be okay with that. I like to tell people the way that I categorize my brand is professional sass. Because I'm like, we're professional, but we've got some spunk, right? We've got some spunk and we've got some sass. So I think that's probably that's one of the obstacles. And if anybody wants to know any of the other obstacles, I'm very transparent. I will gladly try to help you avoid some of the big oopsie daisies that I have had.
And I think that's amazing to be able to share that journey because all of us have had different pitfalls and things that the very first thing that comes to mind when someone says pick one thing, right?
I'm like, there's a lot.
There is a lot. And Chantel just shared with us that she loved professional
sass. You gotta say it like that too, with like some yeah.
Exactly. Just like you're talking out Tuesday.
I was gonna say that's why Talking Out Tuesday's got some sass.
I love it. But see, and that's just the thing. As business professionals and entrepreneurs, if we can't share some of our struggles and help someone else learn from a pitfall and a challenge and really being able to own those moments in our life, then who are we? You know,
Right.
We have to be able to educate each other, provide value to each other. And without our tribe of people and the pitfalls and victories that we've overcome and celebrated together, then we just might as well just be independent, fall in a shell.
Yep.
I'm in a nut.
I might as well just, how did I get this nut?
How did I get to this nut? We don't have any fun.
Right. Nobody wants to be put in a nut.
No one wants to be in a nut. It's just a thing.
Yeah.
So in lieu of, okay, so you had your name change, you branding, you owning your branding.
Yes.
First and foremost, I mean, you wear it. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's in your logo. It's in your office. It's in everything you do. You have amazing shades of lip gloss and stuff that you wear with it. You are a walking billboard of your brand.
Thank you.
And that's important. And that's something I just want to highlight to everyone. You've got to be in your brand. And Katie's a great example of that. And I will share her website address at the end of this. But if you want to multitask at the same time of contributing to the conversation here, it's crconversations.com.
Yes. Thank you, Hollie.
You're very welcome.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't.
So what is the driving force to do what you do in your business?
I love that question. And in one word, it's relationships. But the story behind that is I can actually kind of answer this as another overcoming of an obstacle as to why I do what I do. I'll make very long story short. When I first kind of started out in my entrepreneurial journey, I had a business partner. And she and I had been really good friends. She had been my mentor for a very long time. And things went very bad. And we were only in business for a few months together. And it was, for a very long time, I did not even want to talk about it. I wanted to just erase that part from my business history. But the reason why I do what I do is to help people. Truly, everybody says that they're in this to build relationships, right? Well, I want them to mean it. So being able to take what my journey was and the accumulation of all the different mistakes that I've made along the way, relationships end because of either miscommunication or lack of appreciation, and learning from my own struggles with that and being able to overcome it. That is my driving force to be able to change the way that people treat each other. And I always say that, if you start treating the people in your business like you treat your best friend, everything will change, because business is personal. And so I'm out to make people feel that they are heard and to know that they matter. And I am doing that through my own experience of either being guilty of not giving that to somebody else and kind of only seeing myself in the scenario, but also being on the receiving end of people not giving me those two things. So that's the driving force of doing what I do. That's the real power. I really want to make a change in the way that people talk to people.
And that's actually the very first lesson that I learned from you. The very first time we met, we sat down, we had a one-to-one, we both talked about our businesses. And the very first question, the only person in the world who has ever asked me this question, and I've heard it multiple times ever since because you teach it,
That's
was,
cool.
How would you like to be communicated with moving forward?
Yeah.
And I was taken back. I'm like,
I'm sorry.
Don't you just expect that you know exactly how I want to be communicated with? There's some people that prefer text messaging, some people that prefer phone calls, such as Katie Myers.
Yep.
There are people such as Hollie, Clere, who prefer email.
Yep.
So we have to find a very healthy balance in between that. We have to know what each other likes, establish boundaries, and then be okay with accepting the fact that this is how someone else wants to be communicated with, and we have to step outside of our nutshell.
Yes. Right. No nutshells. I think we've got like a new hashtag here.
I think that needs to happen.
No nutshells.
That's really valuable. I appreciate you sharing that because, that is just it's not something that everyone does.
Right.
And
it's such a simple, I always tell people, I'm like, I hope that things that I share are not like rocket science. It's not, oh my God, I never thought to do these things. This is, I say that this is, remember the golden rule, right? That you're taught in kindergarten, treat others like you want to be treated. Well, this is just the grown-up version of the golden rule. It's just pay attention to people, give them a voice, make them feel like they matter. And it starts with that. So I encourage everyone just to kind of have that in the back of their mind. Anytime you're communicating, and it, like you said, Hollie, thank you for that example. It starts with just asking the question and saying, hey, this isn't all about me. I'm not going to make the assumption that I know how to best get in contact with you. And a little hint, wink, wink for you all. It's a really good way to start your follow-up because then you know how they're going to respond to you.
That's very true. And if you don't know what she's talking about as far as a follow-up, she's going to highlight some of that in just a moment. But there is a follow-up strategy that she teaches that is hands down the most amazing process ever and is a game changer. I started implementing a follow-up strategy that I learned from Katie, about a year ago, a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And in the process of doing this, close ratio definitely happens. I don't get the whole I'm just not going to respond to your email and ignore your messages kind of thing, because when I go through the strategy, it's not just emails, it's not just phone calls, it takes it above and beyond. So with that, I'm so excited for you to share. Yay. What are your top services, Katie Myers?
So thank you for asking, Hollie. It's again, really good questions. You're such a great interviewer, by the way.
Thank you.
It's so fun. It's really fun to be on the other end of this. I love it. Yay. So my top three services is a combination of my program. So my program is called the Core Conversations, and I take people through the 4 phases of conversation that absolutely need a process, which is your sales process, your follow-up strategy, a customer retention plan, and a customer selling strategy. So how I do that is in 3 different levels, and it depends on really how much rolling up your sleeves you want to do, and how intense you want to get. And how quickly, because I do have instant gratification packages for those that need that. But we work together for either 4 months, 4 weeks, or 4 hours. So the top package, the nitty gritty, is one that I really, really love doing because all 5 of my collaborative partners are included in that package. So not only do you get all of these processes built out, we work really closely together, but then you get people like Hollie Clere, you get Jackie Cox, you get Donna Galassi, you get Felicia Jones, and you get Kimberly Alexander. And then in the crash course for 4 weeks, you get me plus one of the other collaborative partners. And then one of my favorite ones to do is what I call the Quickie. And the Quickie session is, so I invite you to have a Quickie. The Quickie session is a 4-hour session, but I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. But so really it's kind of go at your own pace depending on how much you need. But there's a service for everyone depending on how you learn.
I like that there's a variety of options. And one of the unique things that I've learned about you in putting together these packages and being able to power partner with you is that all of these are, even though they're bundled packages, they're custom to the business that is hiring you for this consult, for these solutions, and for these processes. Mm-hmm. And that's really cool because there are some cookie cutter things that people could push out there and sell. Your practices are going to be the same, but they're going to be different based off of each and every business owner and who their niche is. Mm-hmm. Because you're not going to be able to market a business the same way to the same ideal niche because not everybody has the same, not everybody does the same thing.
Yep. You're exactly right. So the processes are there. There's always a foundation of where we start, but developing a sales process and a follow-up strategy for one person is going to come out completely different for the next person. Yes. So it's all about just getting them organized first, working on your messaging, and then following the process. But like you said, customizing it to them and making sure that it's their voice, it's to their audience, where however they define their brand. because their brand might not be professional SaaS. So we don't want to communicate it like that.
Very true. Because if they don't have professional SaaS, they're not going to be a good fit, right?
Right. Yes.
So, and that's where your messaging is very versatile and scalable. And I just love that. So thank you for sharing those.
You bet. Thanks for asking.
Yes. How can you benefit others and their business growth through this year, just as far as the value that you have? I mean, you've got your trainings, which are extraordinarily valuable. You've got your Talk It Out Tuesdays,
yes,
which, holy moly, talk about providing value to people. You guys, if you haven't found Talk It Out Tuesdays on YouTube, definitely go check it out. crconversations.com. There's a link on there for the YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. And you got to check these out. She's done over a year. How many videos has it been?
It'll be 2 years actually next week.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
2 years.
So it'll be, 104?
Oh my gosh.
That sounds like a lot. That's a lot of time.
Tuesdays. You know, every single one of those Talk It Out Tuesday videos provides some bit of knowledge, whether it's with networking or sales or processes. And so she provides that as a service. So if there's going to be something that you want to incorporate in your business for this year, I would dedicate the time to go to Talk It Out Tuesdays every single Tuesday in the AM. And
so there'll be
follow
one
it
today.
On Facebook. There will be one. Yes.
It's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. Follow it on Facebook, follow it on YouTube. Definitely subscribe to that channel because
please do.
There's so much value in the information she provides. Do you feel that there's anything else that you offer or places that you provide support and positivity that might be valuable to the audience?
Yeah. So, I mean, Talk It Out Tuesday is definitely one of the best places because not only is it's not just me talking every single time, but by bringing in my partners, you're getting all of these aspects of different experts coming in and sharing their topics. So there are quite a few playlists that have been created there. So if you don't know where to start, I would start with some of the playlists. But other than that, I think that I have an ebook that's on my website that gives you, you really kind of get to know me and my style a little bit better. So if you're curious as to kind of what it's like to work with me, it's called Being Exceptional. What I've learned from being a Colorado native, cocktail bars and dogs. And it kind of takes you through, and you probably are wondering, like, how are all of those things related? And I just kind of pull it all together and share with you about, owning your brand identity. I am a Colorado native, so that's why that's there. We can learn so much from animals, especially in relationship to networking. The next time that you go to a dog park, pay attention and put yourself, just put them in human form. It's a networking event. It is 100% a networking event. You can totally see what I mean. Yeah. Yes. And then cocktail bars. I love cocktails. And I especially like craft cocktails and, kind of prohibition style cocktails. And it talks about the experience that you're giving people, making them feel like they're heard and that they matter. And what I've learned from kind of visiting all kinds of different cocktail bars and the different type of experience that you have. So that's a really fun way to kind of learn a little bit more. And you can get that just by going to my website, crconversations.com, and you can download the ebook. And it's really, awesome. It's like a 5-page PDF.
I think that's perfect. Yeah. Well, and so Katie, thank you for just being someone who contributes to the community and provides so much value. I definitely appreciate you for all the time that you take to provide.
Yeah.
Even outside of, you provide all this value and they haven't even gotten to hire you yet.
Sure.
So imagine the amount of content and productivity and processes you'll have in place when you incorporate a Katie Myers from CR Conversations into your business and the strategy behind that. It's extraordinarily powerful.
Thank you, Holly.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
So what is something you are doing this year to reach some of your personal and professional goals?
Oh, good question. So it's twofold. The first is really pouring everything that I have into my collaborative partners like you. and being able to, it's taken, I mean, it really has taken about 3.5 years for me to fully develop the collaborative partnerships that I wanted to create. And I've recognized that by building those relationships, because collaborative partnerships are like best friends, you can't have 100. And so by really being able to focus on, sharing their content, being their resources, having that reciprocation in sharing each other's value and content, it has done tremendous things for my growth for this year. And it's like March, right? So it's done a lot because it's just reiterating a lot of the same content. It's developed really great referral partnerships. Yes. And it's so much fun to be able to serve on the same team. It's kind of like, I've created a team of people. So I'm not working my business alone ever. So I'd say that that's a big one. And then the second is I'm really elevating the amount of speaking that I'm doing this year. I'm going outside of the state of Colorado, and I'll be speaking. So I've got, I can't reveal exactly how many speaking gigs I have just in case Jackie Cox is watching, because we have a friendly competition going on right now that we're revealing later this afternoon. So I'm like, oh my, what if Jackie's watching? I can't say how many I have right now, but maybe I'll post it tomorrow.
Competition's a little healthy.
Yes, it is. That's where I was like, let's make a friendly little wager out of this. Let's see how many we can get. So the big reveal is later today. But so that's what I'm looking to do, is just elevate. The way I educate is, to the things that you've said already, it's transparent. I'm here to give you everything that you need. And if that's all you needed to hear from me, great. Because I want to empower people to just start changing the way they're talking to people and stop feeling like they have to sell, and recognizing that they get to serve. It's a huge mind shift change.
Well, and that's just the thing, is putting on the hat of serving instead of transaction. Mm-hmm. I get the opportunity to serve you.
Yep.
It's not, I get the opportunity to take your money. It's, I get to serve. And however I can best serve you, then that's the way that it was intended to be. Mm-hmm. Because not everyone is intended to hire for a consultation. Right. Not everyone will get everything they need from videos or from the ebook. They need more meat and potatoes. And that's what's so cool about everything that you offer, is it's because you find people where they're at, and then they can progressively build into the next level and the next level and the next level. Yes. And it's super powerful. Thank you for providing that as a service.
Thank you. I love it.
I really want to know more about your Quickie.
Oh, yes. I will tell you about the Quickie. See that whole professional SaaS thing? Yeah. So this might be a little more SaaS than professional, but
that's okay.
It's the Quickie. So my Quickie sessions can be done one-on-one. It's a 4-hour session. But what I've been doing is I'm currently in the middle of the Quickie series, which is a virtual program where instead of meeting for 4 hours at a time, we actually meet as a group. I don't bring on more than 5 people because I really need to be able to spend time with you. But we meet for 1 hour once a week for 4 weeks. And what you're getting in this session is we cover the first 2 processes. So we start by kind of identifying your target audience and your core messaging. And then we go through step-by-step building out your sales process, so you know what meetings to have, what to say in those meetings, so you set yourself up to feel comfortable offering and telling people how you can serve them. And then you get the proven 8-touch follow-up strategy. So I give you the full format. You'll know when to call, when to email, what touches to do, how many to do, and all of the juicy stuff that goes into it. So you'll know what to say, especially when you're picking up the phone, because yes, you're going to have to do it, but I will tell you how to do it and make it in a way that you feel comfortable. So the next set of the Quickie series starts on March 20th. It will be from noon to 1 Mountain Standard Time. And it is a $500 per person program. But for people that mention the social media advisor, you can get into it for $400. I will give you $100 off if you mention the social media advisor. So if I can post the link later in one of the comments, I can do that and give you the code to do so.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
That's so cool. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
You bet.
You mentioned 8-touch follow-up strategy. And I want to just kind of briefly highlight on that because one thing you said to me a long time ago is, a lot of people will stop after the second follow-up.
Yep, like 93% of people.
93% of people stop at the second.
Yep.
I'm guilty of that.
Sure.
Oh, they must not be
too.
interested. I'm just going to stop.
Yep.
But there's 8 touches for a reason. And it's because of the fact, again, that people are going to respond in a place when it's the right time for them. Mm-hmm. And there's even a step after the 8th that I'm not going to share with you, but you have to sign up to get the secret sauce.
Love it. That
will start the life cycle and complete things out for you. So absolutely amazing. 8-touch follow-up strategy. It is legit awesome. And she's done this. She learned communication just by having her own experiences. And so developing this process from all of that. Yep. So it's awesome. I just love it so much.
Thank you.
So yes, be sure to check back here because after this live feed, Katie is going to post the comments down below for where you can get information on that Quickie, how you can get that discount for mentioning the social media advisor. And I just thank you so much for joining. Thank you for the awesome comments down below, Chantel, for participating during our live, and for all the people who weren't able to comment that get to see this now and later. Katie and I thank you so much. And you know what? You truly know how to be awesome in building your business. Just saying.
Oh, thank you. I'm bad at that, but it looks better towards me. Hearts. I just want to turn it. It looks better that way.
I can do that too.
And
I love it.
That was,
So thank you everybody for joining. Definitely check out, connect with Katie Myers, subscribe to her channels, follow up with her. She's a great communicator on social media as well. Let's engage and let's be awesome in your business by developing that 8-touch strategy and getting some awesome processes in place. Thank you for letting me host you, Katie.
Thank you for the interview, Holly. You are a rock star and I just love you so much.
Love you too. Have a great day, you guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.